friends, it's Lori. Welcome back to The Generous Pour, where we're saving smarter, spending intentionally, and pouring into a life we love. Today is the January week number 2 budget with me and cash stuffing, and honestly, this feels a little bit different in the best way. Things are starting to settle a little bit. Nothing dramatic, nothing perfect. My youngest goes back to college this weekend, actually on Sunday, and things are just starting to wind down over the holiday season, which felt like, we were trying to stuff in all the dinners, all the presents, just a lot of stuff. And so we're starting to kind of go into that January simmer, which I'm kind of excited about. I was sick for the last couple of days, and if you have been sick this winter or anytime, it's like this one really took me out. I could not get out of bed for 2 straight days, but I'm feeling so much better. I feel like I'm slowly coming back into the land of the living, and it feels really, really good. And the good news is I didn't spend any money because I couldn't get out of bed. So there's that. Anyway, if you've watched my last few videos, we had a pretty intense end of the year with home stuff and big expenses, and January started off a little wobbly, which is real life. But this week, I feel like we're moving out of reaction mode and back into building mode, and that's what today is about: calmly checking in, unstuffing what's left, and intentionally setting up next week. If you take anything from this video, it is the weekly check-in is so important, at least to me, because it doesn't make things scary. You're kind of moving into your weeks knowing what you can do and what you can't do. And so when you check in with yourself, sometimes you don't see it was as bad as you thought, or sometimes you see, you have to make a couple of tweaks to make it a little bit better. But that check-in is so important. And honestly, like, keeping track of what you spend every single week has been a game changer for me, because there are some weeks where I would have told you I did not spend a lot of money, but on paper I did. And so your mind plays tricks on you sometimes, thinking you didn't spend it or you did. And so just writing it down and kind of keeping track loosely of what you spent every week has really been a game changer for me. I have a wallet tracker in my wallet. I have a tracker in my planner, my little tiny planner. And I also have a tracker in my budget planner. And I move my wallet planner, or my wallet tracker, and my little planner that I plan all my sort of day-to-day stuff in. I move all of that into my budget planner every couple of nights. I check in with myself and put it in there just to kind of move it into one spot. And it is just, it takes a couple of minutes, but what you get in return is so worth it. The peace of mind, just sort of the clarity and the calm. So anyway, let's get into our cash unstuffing. And we are going to be moving out of my overflow. I was using this over the holidays because I was changing wallets so often, but I'm going to be now moving in when we cash stuff tomorrow. I'll be moving back into my my long wallet envelopes to put them back into my wallet. But as of right now, they're still in here, and I'll move that tomorrow. So let's grab my expense tracker and let's get started. So what I like to do is go through this and move all of this money to the bank so that we're not paying any credit card debt, because I do sort of a hybrid cash stuffing. And so what I use on my credit card, I take out immediately after the week and send it back to the bank so that we're not racking up a huge credit card bill. So let's start with Pearl. Pearl is our Siberian Husky. And let me grab a pen. I'll just grab this pen. And Pearl is our Siberian Husky, and her treats, food, grooming, all of that, $30 approximately a week. And so I just stuff that in there, and it helps me kind of keep track, because I could go out there and be like, oh, look, another toy that I think she would love, and $10 later I'm now over budget, and that $10 every month adds up over the year. So I like to sort of keep that at $30. Spending, let me grab my calculator. So spending is, there's only one spending, so it's 26. So we have 25, 26, and then we'll put this back in here, and I take the leftovers out when I cash stuff tomorrow. So there's one. So that's 26. It's nice that I don't have all these Christmas categories or all these emergency fund categories. It's been quite a December. Okay, home is going to get 12. And so we're starting to wind down. My older two are back to their own apartments, and my home category is hopefully not going to be as stressed as it was. Laundry, soap, everything that kind of keeps our house running is out of that category. Out and about is 20. No, out and about is, so we have 2 for out and about, and that is going to be 12. No, that's not 12. That's home. So 22 and plus 43. So we're getting 65. So we have 50, 65. Wow, we used almost everything out of that category. So this one's going to get 5. And then, let's see, out and about. And I reduced my grocery category just as sort of a test, kind of try and find this happy medium, but I'm not sure. I mean, I spent $198, but it was hard because I do cook for a house at night, Monday through Thursday, of 10 girls, or 8 girls. And so, plus my family, and so it's hard. So $198, so I'm going to take this $200 out and then put $2 back in to groceries. And then whatever is left over, as always, goes into my overflow. And tomorrow I will figure out if I'm going to keep it in this as sort of a buffer, or I'm going to put it straight into savings. So let's see here. So now we have, so we can close this up. Put this off to the side. So we should have 30. So we should have 331 over here. So we have 200. And then 50, 40, 10, 20, 30, 40, and 1. And that was right. So we have 200. So what I write here is coming, so we have bank. We have 200. Oh, this pen doesn't work on this. And then cash. We have 50, 70, 90, 100, and 31. So 50, 70, 90, 100. Is that right? 50, 70, 80, 90, 100, 10, 20, 31. 131. Okay, so this is going to go back to the bank. I'm going to put this off to the side. And all of this money will just go straight over into my checking account. And so when I pay my credit card bill, that money's sitting in there and it's ready to be paid. No surprises, nothing. And that's what's great about tracking your spending, is because you don't look at your, it's not like a surprise when you go to your, either your online bill or your mail, and you open up your credit card bill and you're like, oh no, I forgot that I spent $44 at, you know, XYZ store, and I don't have that money. And then that's sort of how it all snowballs. So to me, tracking your spending is so, so important. In fact, I have, and let me grab I'm just going to show you what I keep in my wallet. So let me grab my wallet out, and I have in the back here an envelope tracker. So this just fits super easily into my wallet. And so every time I spend on my credit card, I write it down. So it's just a lovely way to keep track of your spending and just to sort of be mindful of what you're doing. So anyway, that is that. Now we are going to do my budget with me. Let me grab my planner. This is my budget planner. And this week we are, in fact, let me grab a pen. Hopefully I have a regular pen in here. Yep, I do. I'll put this back. And we are, for January week number 2, we are budgeting $15.08 and then plus whatever I roll in my 50 envelope. Because that is just sort of a surprise every week of what we're going to be doing. So groceries, These are going to be my, this right here, groceries, spending, home, out and about. Out and about, we merged our date night, our dining out. That is anything that's sort of out and about. I was just trying to simplify my categories, and it's just easier for us to do it this way. So these are my wallet categories. These are the spending. This is so important to me because these were the spending categories that I was just sort of frivolously spending my money on, and keeping track of them and sort of setting a budget, whether I use my credit card or cash, just really helped me rein in that extra spending. Because if it wasn't like a big purchase, I was like, oh, it wasn't a big purchase, so it wasn't a big deal. But even if it's not a big purchase, those little purchases over the course of a year can really make your budget sideways. So home is 50, out and about gets 75 per week. And I am thinking about rolling this over, my out and about money, or giving myself all the money at the beginning of the month and then maybe unstuffing it at the end of the month. And that's actually, now that I'm thinking about it, what I might do. Because I like to have a little bit extra so we can kind of treat ourselves to either a nicer dinner or a couple of dinners or something. And then buffer is going to get 25. Okay, so let's get into our high priority binder. And if you've been watching any of my videos, you know that we are rebuilding our month ahead and our emergency fund because we had a house maintenance emergency and we kind of had to clear out these binders. So now we are going month ahead, and month ahead has 5 categories, and each category gets $125 a week, and so that's 125. Emergency fund is getting 125 a week. It's just standard. This is what I decided when I worked out my budget. So what I did at the beginning of the year is, let me go here, is I went through all of my sinking funds and I wrote down everything, what our sinking fund was, what my goal amount was, and how many paychecks we got a month or a year, and divided it up and kind of gave myself, like, if I want to save $500 for birthdays, per paycheck is $20 per paycheck. So that's every 2 weeks. And so that's how I worked my budget out for the year. It's just easy for me. And so I kind of have that in mind. Some weeks are going to be more, some weeks are going to be less. I don't know why there's a big helicopter going over my house right now. So rainy day is going to get 20. Home maintenance, which I'm almost kind of moving up the priority list as my month ahead in my emergency fund, because I had to, owning a home is home maintenance should be baked in. And so I'm going to put 25 in. That stuff is inevitable. Yard and garden is going to get 5, even though it's the middle of winter here. I still want to make sure I'm funding things that, if you put $5 in every so often, it's, by the time those events happen, you have a nice fund. Health, I'm always putting in 25. That's our copay. There are 5 of us, and I just want to make sure that that is funded. House deposit, I'm skipping. Travel and trips. I do have a travel games binder, but I am also still funding this. We are taking a trip to Iceland in May, a family trip, and I want to make sure I have that money all set aside. Wellness. Wellness has 92, and so I'm actually just going to bring that up to around 100 for right now. So I keep these trackers in here, and I like to keep them kind of in the back, in the back of the thing, so I don't have to take everything out every time I budget, and so I can just go, oh look, I only need $8 or whatever. Hobbies is going to get, and this is a hobby of mine, cash stuffing, even though it's, worth its weight in gold. But buying things for, trackers and stuff like that is kind of going out of hobby. Giving, I'm going to put in $50. I've said it before, my son is running the Boston Marathon in April, and we want to build that fund up so that we can donate to his donation page. Okay, so boys, number 1, number 2, and number 3. Karen at the Faithful Dash has a fund that she does for her adult kids, and mine are adult-ish. I would call them adult light, L-I-T-E. And I thought that was just such a cute idea that she was still giving back to her kids. And I don't know if she did it this year, but a couple years ago she gave money to them at Thanksgiving, sort of a boost to the giving season. And I thought that was really sweet and unexpected. And so $5 is what I'm giving now. So birthdays, my son has a birthday coming up at the end of January, and so we're at 185. I'm going to boost that up to 200. Gifts, I'm going to skip. Celebrate is going to get 30, bring that up to an even 100. Seasonal activities, I also kind of stripped this category, so we'll put in 10 together is going to get skipped. And my holiday next, which is Valentine's Day, and then my holiday on deck. I decided I had too many holidays in here, and so I kind of did Christmas and Thanksgiving as my main, and the rotating ones will just go into these binders, and whatever is left over will shift to the next one, because I was just putting, $5 here, $5 there, and $5 into 10 categories. I would just rather kind of boost these and snowball them down the road as they pass. So I'm prepared for the next holiday, but I'm also not stuffing 10 envelopes. So next up is going to get 15. And that is, so right now we have 50, 70, 80, 90. So we'll have 105 in Valentine's Day. And then on deck has $5, and that is St. Patrick's Day. And I kind of keep these trackers in here to help me know which holiday it is. So this is my St. Patrick's Savings Challenge from the Cafecito budget, and that one's going to get $10. All right, so let's add this up. Oh wait, let's do Christmas or Thanksgiving and Christmas. And Thanksgiving, I'm going to give 5, and Christmas, I give 50 every week. And again, that works. That's the budget that I gave myself. So let's go over this. Let's close this up. And okay, so that's 1068. So 1068. Okay. And so now we have my 2026. So this is my games. So we have 2026, and then we have my games binder, and then we have my travel. And travel always gets 150, or I'm not 150, 50. 2026, which is building up my emergency fund, my home maintenance, and my month ahead, gets 150. And then my games binder is my binder that I save money for, that I reallocate at the end of the month, and it goes into my savings challenges. And what I do at the end of the month is I decide which categories at that time are a priority. And so I list them all, and then I reallocate that money, and that will get 140. So that is 150, 140, and 50. Okay, so we have, looks like we have $100. So we will put, so we have my 5K binder. Let's write that here. I'm running out of space here. And we will put, so I keep this tracker in here. All this money goes into travel. This is 25, 35, 40, no wait, 20, 30, 40, 55. That's 55. So I'm just going to do 50. So I'm going to do 50 into this binder. And once this fills up, I will move it into my travel line in my high yield savings account. So this is my emergency fund, and that has 10K. My dream is to build this up to 10K. So we're going to put 50 in here. So on top of the 50 that I'm saving in this 10K binder, which is my emergency fund, I also am doing this 125. And then in my games binder for sinking funds, I can also put money in there if I decide that that's what I want to do. So there's a lot of ways to figure this out and kind of finagle things. So that is that. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my 50 envelope savings challenge. And what this one is I decided I didn't enjoy the 50 or 100 envelope challenge, putting $1, $3, you know, and so forth. And so what I've done is I am on envelope for number 4. And this, so what I do is each envelope has 2 sides, 1 and 2, and I have a 50-sided die. And whatever this says is what I save for slot number 4. And I just roll the dice, and if it says 1, 1, 1, 1, that's all I'm going to save. But now we're going to roll for number 4. It's 1. I'm going to re-roll that. Okay, so it's 7. So I usually have a little Post-it. Let me grab a little Post-it so that I remember. So I have to put in for number 4, $7. Which isn't bad. So I'm going to put that right there. So $7 from my budget. And so 50 envelope. And that's going to be 7. So that's perfect. So I will run through this real quick to see what I need for my denominations. I'm going to need 2, 20, 30, 40, 50. No. 2, 20, 30, 40, 50, right. And then this one's going to get 50, 60, 70, 5. Home will just get 150. This one will also get 1, 2, 1. Pearl will get 120 and 110. I need to actually get myself a, let me grab one of these. This is better. Okay, so generosity will get 10. Buffer is going to get 25. Month ahead is going to get, so month ahead it goes into 5 categories. And so month ahead gets 5 20s and 5 5s. Emergency fund just goes into 1 category. So it just needs 100, 120, and 15. Rainy day just gets 120. Home maintenance is 120 and 15. Yard and garden, 5, 20, and 5. 110. Wellness is 5 and 3 ones. I hate dealing with ones, but I wanted to move that up to to make it an even number. So giving is going to get 150. And boys, my 555, because each of them gets it in their own envelope, I get 3 5s. Then I do a 10 and a 5. Celebrate is getting 120 and 110. Seasonal activities gets 110. Holiday next up is 110 and 15. On deck is getting 110. Thanksgiving is getting 15. Christmas is going to get Christmas will get a 50. I was thinking that I was playing games. And sometimes when you're playing with games, it's like you can't. Games, I will do this one off camera. Because I usually stuff that beforehand, so I'll do that off. And then 50, 50, and then a 5. Whoops, that's not a 5. 5, 6, 7, 2. And that's it. That's how I'm going to do it this week. Oh my God. One thing I keep reminding myself is building seasons are quieter. They don't get applause. They don't feel exciting every single week. But this is actually where the momentum comes from, showing up when things are calm, not just when things are urgent. You know, January 1st was about regaining our footing. January week number 2 feels like we're standing a little taller. Still careful, still intentional, but no longer shaken. You know, I'm not trying to optimize everything right now. I'm trying to stabilize, and that's just as important. So thank you so much for spending this time with me. If you're in a rebuilding season too, you know, you're doing the work that actually lasts. You know, keep showing up for yourself. These are the things that show your self-kindness. Put yourself first, put your family first. And if you like this video, please subscribe. It truly helps support this channel and this community. But until next time, friends, keep saving smarter, spending intentionally, and pouring into a life you love. I'll see you tomorrow for my cash stuffing video.